Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to make creamy lobster bisque. We have about 2 cups of leeks, about 1 carrot, 1 large onion, 2 ribs of celery. We're going to add a tablespoon of lobster bedded in bouillon base and about 4 cloves of garlic and about 8 cups of water. I think I actually did 10 cups of water because we wanted to reduce this down, and about 2 finger pinches of salt. Cayenne pepper to taste. I used about a half of a teaspoon. It's going to hit the back of your tongue while you're eating your bisque, and it's just lovely. And even some black pepper. We are going to add in some thyme, about 2 stems of thyme, and all of our lobster shells, and I have about 8 in total. These were small lobster tails, so they were about 6 ounces. Adding your bay leaves and then cover with water. This is about 4 cups here, and then I'm going to add an additional 6 cups in because we want to reduce this down to about 8 cups of stock. And we're going to let this come to a boil. And while it's coming to a boil, we stir it around a bit and then just put a lid on it. Let it simmer for about 1 hour. We want to get all the flavor out of those shells. Use your shells to make a beautiful stock every time. I do the same thing with shrimp shells. After that comes to a boil, let it simmer a bit for an hour. We're going to clean and cut our lobster meat, this beautiful lobster meat, into chunks. And use your own, whatever your bite size is, cut those into the sizes that you like. If you want to leave larger chunks, you could absolutely do that as well. Doesn't matter. This is your lobster bisque. We're going to actually poach that lobster into some Kerrygold butter. After you chop all your vegetables up, we have leeks, only the light parts. We have carrot, onion, celery, and garlic. The same thing that's in our pot with the stock. So you want to make sure you add all of your lobster meat to about 5 tablespoons of Kerrygold butter. You want to use a really good quality butter to poach your lobster in. We are not adding any seasoning to the lobster because all the flavor is going to be in that broth and the stock that we make, and it's just going to be lovely. So I cook my lobster meat for about 3 minutes, and first I saute it around for just a bit for the first minute, and then I actually cook it for 2 more minutes with the lid on. After about 3 minutes total cooking time, I remove my lobster meat from the pot, and then we're just going to add in our vegetable mixture. You just want to add it to another dish. I'm adding it to my measuring cup. I'm going to add all our vegetables in, stir it around, make sure they get nice and tender in that butter and that lobster, the juice from that lobster that lobster left behind. We're going to add in some seasoning, which is just some black pepper and about 2 more pinches of salt. I'm watching my salt intake. You can add as much salt as you like, but it's best to have to add more than, because you can't take it out at this point. So add less in, and then you add more once your soup is combined and cooked all the way. You can always add more. So stir that around. Let those vegetables get nice and tender. We are going to then add in our flour, and I had about about 1/4 cup of flour just to make that roux. So we're going to cook this for about 3 minutes. So you just want to make sure that flour taste is cooked out. So we're going to salt, and those vegetables are well coated with the flour. And you are going to just do this for about 3 minutes and make sure everything gets nice and thick. This adds thickness to your soup. And we are going to deglaze the pan with some dry sherry after those 3 minutes. And I think I used about just about a half a cup of dry sherry, because you don't need a lot. The alcohol is going to cook off anyway. You just want those vegetables to soak up all of the flavor of the dry sherry. That's super important. So as long as this, maybe about 2 minutes, I let all the vegetables soak in that flavor, and I add about 2 ounces of tomato sauce, just from a can. Just get a small can of tomato sauce, or you can add tomato paste instead. I've done it both ways, and it still comes out amazing both ways. So you just stir that around. We're going to strain this lobster stock after it's been simmering for an hour. We're going to add it to our pot with our vegetables and flour and that cognac mixture, and we're going to just let it cook for about 20 minutes before we blend it. And when I tell you, this is amazing. It starts to thicken up a bit, and you just keep stirring it around until it gets a little body to it. So at this point, I add a little bit of Cavazier. You can add any cognac that you like. Some people use Hennessy. I didn't think it was necessary. I'm just using less than a quarter of a cup. I'm just using very small amount just to add some flavor. And once it cooks down a little bit more, I use my immersion blender and I blend everything together. Now you can put this absolutely in your blender, your stand blender, and just make sure you crack the lid a little bit so it doesn't explode, because that heat from the soup will make the top explode and you'll have a mess in your kitchen. Trust me, it's happened to me. And we're going to blend this all together before, and you see how thick it looks, before adding in some cream. Now, for my bisque, I don't add in a lot of cream. That's just about a quarter of a cup. You can add a half a cup, depending on what your likeness is. I wanted to keep it on the healthier side, so I used heavy cream. And for vegetarians, if you don't want to use any cream, you can absolutely use cashews. You can blend your cashews with some water and almost make like a cashew milk. And you could add cashews to it. It'll also thicken. Some people add a rice to it, and it thickens that way too. But look at how thick it is, and look how it reduced down. Look how beautiful. And now we are just going to plate it up. I like it to reduce down with the cream and everything, just a little bit, maybe 10 minutes with the cream, because I want it to get nice and thick, like so. And look how beautiful. I put about 8 pieces of lobster meat because I thought I was going to have like 4 portions of this. Still was 4 portions, but it was so much lobster meat that I was able to add more in. And I added probably about 8 more pieces. So we probably had 16 pieces, which is probably 1 whole lobster into this. Maybe a lobster and a half, because these were small lobster. But look how beautiful. You just garnish and serve it. You can pair this with a beautiful, beautiful salad, like a garden salad, and this will make a delicious dinner. This is all you need, is a piece of crusty bread or some, we like the little soup crackers, and you can, what I think they're called oyster crackers. We really like the oyster crackers in ours. And look how beautiful. You can serve this up to your family. It makes an amazing meal. Some people have this just for Christmas or New Year's, but in my house, any holiday is worth having lobster bisque, and even on a day when it's not a holiday. So we don't get to have this often, but I felt like making this around the Easter holiday, so this really came out perfect. Look how thick and creamy it is. I'm not trying to play with the food, but I just wanted you to see how beautiful this lobster is. Have you ever gotten lobster bisque in a restaurant and they didn't have any chunks of lobster in it? Well, we like chunks in ours, and this is how rich and creamy it is. It's worth making your own stock. Trust me, is so much better than getting it out of a box. They sell seafood stock in a box, but you can also make your stock and freeze your stock. So anytime you want lobster bisque, you can just pull it out of the freezer and then start creating your bisque. I'm telling you, that will save you tons of time. I've done that in the past and it was amazing. So here's our creamy lobster bisque. I hope you enjoy it.